About 7 years ago, I was at my boat. It was an old wooden cabin cruiser that I kept at an old broken down marina, Chesapeake Bay. I slept on the boat in the main saloon, on a pull-out couch. I was lying on my back, and in the middle of the night, I awoke to find myself with a giant male black Labrador retriever straddling me with legs on either side of me on the bed. He was just standing there, looking around like I was not there at all. I immediately thought I was dreaming. I said I was going to shut my eyes and open them, and it would be all gone. I shut them and reopened them, but he was still there. It was not mean or aggressive, just huge. I shut them again and reopened them, and it was gone. Later that morning, a worker at the marina fell to his death off the top of a travel lift, a big crane that hauls boats in and out of the water. I had never heard anything about black dog apparitions in my life and thought it was just a dream, but Google black dog apparitions, and apparently they are often seen near water and can be an indicator of death. I was pretty blown away after that. So the boat I am sleeping on is also haunted. I know it's haunted because a ghost would always play tricks on me, turning on switches to things I knew I had turned off. The ghost's favorite thing was to turn on my fresh water pump after I left. It was a pull-out switch on the console, and it was not easy to pull out either. It got so bad that one weekend I had my friend watch me turn it off. I get back the following Friday and it was back on, of course. I believe the ghost is the original owner, a friend of mine. The boat was his pride and joy. Hello everyone. I, 19 female, lost my brother who was 21 at the time of his passing due to the battle of his depression. This was in 2012 when he ended his life. I was only 10 when I was told the news about his passing, and I had a hard time accepting that he was truly gone. I was removed from school for about a week to plan his funeral and just to be with my family. My first day back to school, I was walking the halls all alone as everyone was in class. I had to leave to take a moment to collect myself as I was crying over my brother. Clear as day, I remember hearing my brother call out my name. I could smell his cologne and felt the hair on my body stand straight up. I was spooked at first, as when I turned around, I saw the papers on the wall move, as if someone had run past them, and the wind from the running blew them. I never said anything to my family about it, as I didn't want to upset them, until a few years later, I was lying in bed, and I felt the presence of someone in my house. This was normal, as my house is actually haunted. When I looked up at my doorway, I saw my brother standing there just smiling. I remember freezing before I screamed for my dad. He quickly vanished right before my eyes. I never in my life thought I would see my brother again. That night, I remember just staring at the doorway, wondering if he'd come back. Since then, there's been a few encounters. Whether it's just smelling his cologne and having the sense of presence in the room, to seeing some of my things like our pictures moved from where they hung or placed. My bedroom is normally locked when I'm away, and no one has a key, so I know that he is the one looking at our pictures. At first, I was so scared and spooked, but now I feel safe and at peace whenever he stops by to see me. He tends to visit in my dreams as well. Oh, I wish my dreams were real. Love to hug him again. This photo is not one that was taken by me, but was shared to our tour group a couple years ago, and I thought you guys would enjoy them and wanted to share, because it is my favorite ghost photo from all experiences around ghosts. I work on the ghost tours around my area. I am the guy in the background behind the man on the platform with a lantern. People on the tour was encouraged to take photos and share what they get with us. In this picture, there are two things happening. The first, a green light orb floating above me with multiple faces when zoomed in. The second, a face in the window that when zoomed in looks to me like the famous serial killer H.H. Holmes with his mustache and bowler cap. Which is interesting because his story was told at a separate location. What do you guys think about this photo? The photo will be down in the links so everyone can see. Hello guys. I finally decided to tell you about my first and only encounter with the paranormal, which still brings tears in my eyes when I think of it. I've never told anyone about this, so this is kind of a premiere. I've been going for night walks for at least 15 years. I love the silence and atmosphere of the night, and I prefer to be alone, listening to audiobooks while walking. I am almost 7 feet and quite a big person. Or at least I claim not to be the average victim of a lurking robber. But obviously some entities seem not to be impressed, like physical size. My nightly route led me through an unlit rural road, a short passage through the woods, a well-lit settlement, and even an old graveyard to shorten my way home. The funny thing is, and this is the only funny thing about this story, that my encounter was in the settlement. I never experienced anything like that in the rather creepy locations. It was a clear night and around 11 p.m. As I walked my way down the street with my headphones, listening to some horror novels, as I suddenly heard someone behind me whispering my name very aggressively. Then immediately I turned around to look for the source of what was whispering, just to see a human-like shadow figure, so dark as if something was just cut out of this world. It was running towards me, no more than 3 feet away from me, with something in its hands, as if it was going to hit me with the thing. I was so shocked in this moment, and I held up my forearms to protect my head and closed my eyes to protect from the anticipated hit, and I screamed all the breath out I had at the moment, but nothing hit me. I opened my eyes again and realized nothing was there. I stood there and my heart was still pumping like crazy, and I was completely alone. After some seconds, I moved on, telling myself that it was just my imagination, inspired by the horror novel, as one of the surrounding house doors opened and an old man ran out of his house with an old-fashioned poking stick in his hand, asking where the attacker had gone. He told me that he and his wife saw that person running towards me, and that he came to help me fight off this guy. After I asked him if he remembered any facial features or anything remarkable, he and his wife said no. To this day, 10 years later, I still think about the occurrence and it still gives me shivers. Normally, I'm very grateful to get help in emergency situations, but in that night, I would have loved to not get help so I could just blame it on my imagination. So last week we moved into our new apartment on the 6th floor. Our previous house was small for family, so we moved in there. Took us 2 days to unpack and arrange our house. Yesterday I was in the living room, looking out of my window when I saw something in a white dress pass by our window, and it says, Golia Dora Dia Amor, which in English means hang yourself. I really heard it. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I'm extremely scared and inform my parents about this if they say I hallucinated. Edit, got checked up. The doc says everything is normal and I am mentally stable. Gave me some sleeping pills even though I told him I don't have a problem sleeping at night. One thing which I found a little suspicious is that when I told the guard of the building about this and asked him if he knew something, his face kind of dried up. Although he said he doesn't know anything, but it seemed like he was hiding something.